Welcome back to Football Today. As you can see, we've got a special guest in the studio, Premier League legend, Man United legend, Ryan Giggs, and another Man United legend, I think, at the end, Phil Neville. I think we've got, with Ryan in the studio today, we're going to ask him a little bit about the current Man United team and how far they are away from winning the title, because it's a few years now since they last won it. So let's put that straight to you, Ryan. This current United side, how far do you think they are from pushing for the top places in the league?
It's very difficult to say now because of the way the Premier League is, you know. Where did Chelsea finish last year? 12th or something?
Yeah,
10th?
Mid-table.
Leicester won it last year.
9th, 10th now.
Yeah, it seems to be all over the place. So I think in the past, if United say they finish 5th, in the past it would be like they got no chance. It's going to be one of the top 3, one of the top 4. But actually, when you look at Chelsea last year, when you look at Leicester now, they're in with a chance of winning it next year. But they've got a lot to do.
Is it because of the amount of games? Like the extra European games, if you go well in the cup competitions as well. I mean, Chelsea this season, no European football, so it's helped them, hasn't it?
Yeah, and Leicester last year the same. But no, I mean, if you're United, if you're City, if you're big teams, you've got to be able to handle Europe and the Premier League. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of getting used to. But you have to handle that European Premier League programme. I think when you're in the Europa, it's slightly difficult. You're always playing after Thursday nights. It's not got that same sort of feel. So it is a lot more difficult when you're in the Europa League. But when you're in the Champions League, no excuses.
When you look at these two teams that we've picked, this was the 2012-13 team, won the league by 12 points. What characteristics in this team do you think that team need to win a title?
Well, I think when you look at the spine of the 2012-2013 team, I mean, that is experience. That's so many games, so many goals. Vidic Ferdinand, one of the greatest partnerships in Premier League history. And it looks a team. That looks a team. Whereas I think this year, Jose struggled with what's his best 11.
Yeah.
And he's chopped and changed so much that he hasn't quite got to it.
Was it a problem for David Moyes? You said about the experience, the amount of games in that team, an ageing team, if you like.
Yeah.
Was that a problem for David Moyes?
Yeah, I think it was a problem because, you know, you look at me in this team, probably Tom Cleverley played more than me. You look at Kagawa, Ashley Young would come in, or he'd come in for Valencia, Welbeck for Rooney sometimes, and it was seamless. It was as if, like... You're not missing a player.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems with United now, when you chop and change, you don't know what you're going to get.
Where do you think the most work's needed in this United team when you're looking at it? Is it defensively?
I think goals. And again, in that team, Kagawa scored goals, Rooney scored goals, Van Persie scored goals, Nani, I didn't mention Nani, would score goals. Mata and Ibrahimovic, the top goal scorers. So... you need more goals from Pogba, Herrera.
Zlatan injured.
Zlatan injured, so you need to replace his goals. You need what's going to happen with Michael Carrick. Absolutely fantastic player, underrated. When I played with Michael, it was so easy. It was so easy because he was such a brilliant player to play with. So you're going to perhaps miss Michael. I don't know what's happening with him.
Who could replace him? Who could replace Michael Carrick?
It's difficult. I mean, you've got someone there who knows how to play in front of Old Trafford when it's 0-0. When the crowd get nervous, you give the ball away. You stop doing maybe things that you should be doing. Michael will do that. Toni Kroos at Real Madrid. Is he going to leave Real Madrid? You don't know. You need a midfielder who's got that experience, and also because when Michael, he didn't start the campaign, but when he come in, he made Pogba and he made Herrera better players. So also he's got to fit into that scenario.
I think when I look at these two teams, the first thing that strikes me is brick wall, two centre-backs.
Yep.
You know, they play every single week, these two, behind probably the best goalkeeper in the world right now, and goals. You know, we know that Zlatan has scored goals, but Pogba's not contributed much. Herrera's not a goal scorer. And even Marcus Rashford, who is going to be a brilliant player, hasn't really contributed that much with goals. So the difference between both teams for me is two centre-backs and the goals up front and goals contribution from all over the team. I think that's the biggest difference.
And what about the transfer policy? How's that changed? I mean, now it's broken the transfer record to get Paul Pogba into the club. Obviously spent a fortune on Zlatan, not in terms of the transfer fee, but in wages. How much has that changed in the 4 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left?
Yeah, it has changed because, you know, you had young players coming through. You had that established team, you know, Vidic, Ferdinand, then underneath that Smalling, Jones, Giggs, Carrick. Then you had Cleverley, you had Kagawa, you brought Ashley Young in. So it was always players coming in. You know, you had Gary Neville, Raphael coming through.
Yeah.
So you always had a first team, but also underneath it, teams that players that were just getting experience throughout the season. And it, like I said, would come in and not a lot would change. I've actually quite liked Jose's buys this year. I think they've been good.
Yeah.
I think the problem is...
How good is this guy?
Oh, he's brilliant.
You've worked with him, yeah?
You've worked with him.
I think, apart from his ability, I think his mentality is what has impressed me. And actually, a lot of people said Ibrahimovic coming in, you know, what would happen with Rashford. I didn't think it was a bad thing because second season can always be difficult.
Yeah.
He's learned to play a new position out on the left, and I did that when I first came into the team. I sometimes played on the left, sometimes played on the right, sometimes played centre forward, sometimes played number 10, and it makes you an all-round better player. Eventually, no doubt, he'll be a centre forward, but again this year he's been that shining light.
It starts tonight, won't he, for United in Europa League? It is their game of the season, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about tonight for
Well,
their season.
if they go out, then it's season over. And we've been part of teams that obviously have been successful, but also when we've gone out of Europe and we're not competing for the Premier League or we're not going to win the league, it's a killer. You know, them last couple of weeks are a killer. So I expect them to go through because Celta Vigo weren't great in the first game. But in Europe this year, we haven't done it the easy way. So you don't take anything for granted, but I expect them to go through.
It's a massive game. Let's hear from Jose Mourinho ahead of that second leg against Celta Vigo tonight.
I think in terms of motivation, we are even. For Celta is, in their words, the most important match of their history, and in my feelings, is also the most important match of our history. Doesn't matter what happened before. Doesn't matter how big a matches we played before. What matters is the next one, and the next one is tomorrow. So I don't believe that Celta dreams more than us, that Celta wants more than us. I really don't believe so in this aspect. I don't think will be a difference between both teams.
Well, he's a winner, isn't he? He's already won one trophy this season at Man United, got the opportunity to win a second. Jose Mourinho, what do you make of his first season at the club?
Well, he's won a trophy. Not good enough in the Premier League, obviously. But I've said all season, I said at the start of the season, win a trophy, get in the Champions League, it's a successful season.
You'd like to do it in the top four, rather than...
You'd like to do it in the top four, but if you win the Europa, the League Cup, and you get in the Champions League, it's a decent... It's a good season. But Man United should be in the top four. They should be in the top four. They should be competing for the Premier League. And at the moment, obviously 20 points or so away from Chelsea. Not good enough in the league.
You were very positive about the players that he's brought in. You think that some of the dealings he's done are pretty good. This summer, how much surgery does he need to do again? Does he need to go again with another 3, 4, 5 big-name players?
Yeah, I think he probably does. You know, I think he needs to replace Michael Carrick. I think he needs... Ibrahimovic is going to be out another year or so. He needs a centre forward. Don't know what's going to happen with Wayne. Yeah, I think he probably needs 4 or 5 players.
Let's have a look at the top half of the table then. And where United are currently. Arsenal gone above them after their win last night, so they're in 6th position. Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City. We said about not playing Europe. Liverpool probably another ones who've benefited from that this season. The fact that they're in the top 4 would demonstrate that.
Yeah, I said this year that Liverpool would do well purely because of that. Klopp getting used to the Premier League, and just playing one game a week. So I thought they would do well this year. They could still drop out, actually. I mean...
Well, Arsenal got a game in hand, haven't they? So they can go a point behind Liverpool. So...
I mean, yeah, I stood in this studio about 10 days ago. Arsenal got no chance.
Yeah.
Now they've got a great chance. And the reason why, the momentum's with them. They're finishing the season. They beat United, beat Southampton away. They've got Stoke, Sunderland, Everton, all games that they can win.
Yeah.
And Sanchez, just like Hazard, a special player as well.
Well, he got them going again last night, didn't he? Alexis Sanchez against Southampton. He got the opener. He has made a huge contribution, hasn't he, to Arsenal this season?
Yeah, a brilliant player. I mean, not only a brilliant player, but his work rate, the effect he has on his teammates, a winner. And he just looks like South Americans are. They're tough, aren't they? And he just looks a brilliant player and a brilliant teammate.
He looks like he's got his little bit of mojo back. He went through a sulky spot about probably a month ago. But I watched him against United at the weekend. He was sharp. He was obviously sharp last night. You talk about Alex Ferguson's transfer policy. He used to go and buy the best players in the Premier League. We bought Van Persie from Arsenal. I just wonder whether Sanchez is someone that you could say he'd walk into this United team and give them that little bit of aggression, probably what they need, working next to someone like a Rashford.
Can you see that happening?
Yeah, because I think, you know, Jose brought Ibrahimovic because he was a winner. He'd won everywhere he'd gone. And not only, you know, I touched on it before in the interview, not only the effect it has on the pitch, but off the pitch. And you can just feel Sanchez, if you come in, it would give his teammates a lift. Yeah. You know, Phil talked about getting the best Van Persie. When we bought Van Persie, you're buying a ready-made superstar. And everyone was like, oh, Van Persie scores 25 goals every season. What a brilliant buy. And it gives not only the fans a lift, but the players also.
Which players have caught your eye for United this season? Any in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I've liked Ander Herrera and also Antonio. The reason why is because I think they've been good this season. They've been very good. But also, over the last couple of years, I played against Ander Herrera when he played for Bilbao, and I thought he was a fantastic player. And the couple of seasons, he was OK, just OK. And I think United fans were wondering, what is he? Is he a attacking midfielder? Is he a defensive midfielder? And I think he's one of them midfielders who can do everything.
I mean, he's not a Michael Carrick, though, is he? In terms of his range of passing, I mean, neat, tidy, if you like, but he's not a Michael Carrick in terms of that. I mean, I've just seen one there, a little playthrough, but he's not like Michael Carrick, though. No,
he's not. But what he is, he's a great lad.
Yeah.
He's one of the characters in the team. So in the dressing room, he's good. You see him there in an attacking position. Here, winning the ball back. He plays the right ball.
Mourinho trusts him as well.
What's his best position? Could he play the Michael Carrick role?
He could, but I don't think he's got that pass. Well,
again,
just kill me. That pass into the centre forward. But no, I think he's not got that consistent pass that Michael's got.
No,
he's an all-action midfielder, really, who can defend like he did against Hazard in this game, but also he can score goals.
And you mentioned Antonio Valencia. Obviously, he started as a right winger. Under Louis van Gaal, you turned him into a right back. How did that come about, and did he enjoy playing right back at the start?
Well, I think Louis had come off the World Cup, played with 5. He looked at our the players that we got: Rooney, Van Persie, Mata. There's the 2.
Yeah.
There's the number 10. OK, Luke Shaw, Valencia. There's your wing backs. And then, as we went back to a 4, Antonio just kept his place. And I don't think he was as good as he has been this season. This year, defensively, I think he's been perfect.
Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah.
He's been absolutely fantastic. You know he's going to, that run there, you know that he can go from box to box very quickly, running with the ball, and then when he gets in these positions, this is something that he's worked on.
That end product, that is something, again, that's maybe why you've moved into, or you felt you could do a job at fullback, really, rather than in that position, because then that end quality, if you like, at times.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a fullback or a winger who's going to sort of play them David Beckham crosses, but he's not going to panic when he gets in that position because he was a winger. And similar to Victor Moses, he's turned into a very good defender.
I don't see anyone better this season. I don't see anyone better at fullback that's defended well, attacks. Well, look, there's modern day fullbacks now. We see Kyle Walker maybe, who's probably the next best, but I think Valencia consistently he never misses a game. He's an animal in terms of his physical specimen. So he's been fantastic.
When we look at the race for the top four, we'll have a look at the fixtures for all the teams fighting for those last two positions after Chelsea and Spurs. Who's going to make it and who's going to miss out?
Yeah, you just can't say. I mean, I said I was in the studio saying Arsenal have got no chance. Now they've got a very good chance. And that's purely because the four teams there that you see are just so inconsistent.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, the teams that they're playing against, they might be fighting for relegation. So it's very difficult to predict. Phil?
Liverpool are in prime position because I think they've probably got the easier fixtures. They've only got 2 games left, West Ham away and Middlesbrough at home.
Mind you, West Ham...
You just never know. You just never know what you're going to get from Liverpool and Man City. Man City have got 3 games, probably the easier running as well. So the only team that I think is struggling is actually United. I think United, because of the Europa League, now have probably down tools in the league.
He's basically said that as well, hasn't he, Mourinho?
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you look at the games that they had left, Tottenham, Arsenal, Southampton away, it's easier probably to beat Celta Vigo and then go on. Obviously, you've got 1 game in the final.
Wayne Rooney, what's he going to be? Where's he going to be next season? He was speaking yesterday in his press conference before the Europa League game tonight, saying that he'd like to stay, but he wants to play more games. The likelihood is he's not probably going to get those games next season at Man United, so that leads you to think he's going to leave Old Trafford?
Yeah, you just don't know. I mean, if United don't get perhaps the centre-forward that they want, then you've got someone who obviously will score goals. He's the captain, he's the leader, he's been a fantastic player. But Wayne isn't... When I got to my 30s, I was in and out the team and I handled it no problem. I trained throughout the week, and I had that sort of mindset very quickly that I'm going to be in and out the team. Scholesy wasn't like that. No. Scholesy wanted to play every game, and he found it very difficult to play, say, once every 2 weeks.
He could do it.
Yeah, he could do it, but I think Wayne comes into that Scholesy scenario where he's got to play. He wants to play.
I think he struggles with not having that rhythm of playing.
Yeah, definitely. Because, the way that he's built, he just got to play games, and he's played a lot of games. And I think once he gets into a rhythm, he'll score goals. But also, he probably, at this stage of the career, needs players around him. I watched Falcao for Monaco, and he's a brilliant goal scorer. But the pace he had around him, Mbappe,
Mendes,
he had runners just running off him, and all his job was just to get in the box. If Wayne had them sort of players around him, then he could definitely still do a job.
So can you see him still in the Premier League then? Maybe because Everton have been linked, haven't they, his former club?
Yeah, I mean, I could see him going back to Everton. Obviously, you've got China, you've got America. We just don't know. I mean...
He's only 31. He's only 31, so there's plenty more football left.
Everyone
in the
seems
tank.
to be writing him off.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan played to your 41, so he's got another 10 years left yet to play, maybe.
Different bills,
but
aren't they?
It depends. I think he needs to play every week, Wayne, to be happy and to play at his best.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a fantastic player, and hopefully we'll still see him in the Premier League next season. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, I'm afraid. That's all we've got time for. My thanks to Phil, as always, and a massive thank you to Ryan Giggs for coming along. United have a big task ahead of them this evening. I'm sure Jose would love to have someone in his team who could produce these type of goals again and again. Bye for now.